Let's talk about what makes Morissette, Aicelle, Christian, and Sam's performance of Here Comes the Sun, Fireworks, and Million Dreams so awesome. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. I've never seen this video before, so I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a 3-part series or if we're going to do it all in one. Either way, I hope you watch through these, check them out, and explore with me what makes these so awesome. Like in all my videos, I try to see something for the first time and react in a genuine way that shows what I'm seeing for the first time, but also reacting as a music professional so that you get to see my analysis. And so that if someone was to ask me, what makes them so awesome? What can I do to be more like this performer? I could break it down, and this is what my initial thought would be just from watching them the first time. So, whether this ends up being one video or 3, let's check it out. I'm excited to see what makes these performers so awesome.
Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way.
Okay, from a performance standpoint, there are 2 things I want to point out. You'll notice at the beginning where they're all like vibing, feeling it, counting the beat, whatever they're doing there is all this yes gesture with their head. What does that communicate to us as an audience? Really, what that's communicating to us and what that makes us feel, it's like, yeah, we like these people already, even though they haven't sung yet. Yeah. Really smart technique as a performer to help that audience feel positive towards you, because they'll respond in the same way that you are. Think about it. If someone is telling you yes a lot, you're going to be more likely to say yes as well. Versus if they start vibing like this, that's essentially a really strong subconscious communication of no, which is going to make us subconsciously respond the same way. We're really empathetic creatures. So, smart choice. You saw them all do it. Really kind of cool to see that positive vibe that they're taking from the beginning of their performing. That also is really important for them psychologically as a performer. Puts them in a positive mindset. Really cool. Number 2 thing that I saw here at the very beginning is you'll notice that they're all smiling, right? She's getting this breathy tone at the beginning, which is great, matches the style, matches what we'd expect with this song. Really kind of cool. But that smile is keeping that sound forward. But from a performance standpoint, all of them smile also puts us in this empathetic mood. Imagine that they weren't smiling. They're just looking at you with a stone-faced neutral. It would look angry. Or we wouldn't feel the same kind of connection or empathy with them, would we? So a lot of simple things that a performer can do, and you will see the seasoned performers doing it, that make us feel empathetic and reel us in right away. So across the board, what surprised me is how uniformly they did this and how they're all right on it. Love it. Her technique here, she is keeping this lift there, so it's still resonant. It's still smooth. She's keeping the airflow relatively consistent. It's starting with an aspirate onset, which means that the air is flowing before the vocal folds come together, and the volume of air is out of balance, you'd say. That sounds like a negative thing, but in this case, it's a choice. It's not a negative thing. It's that she's using more volume of air than is strictly needed, which gives us this breathy sound. Well, why would she do that? Why not clean? Why not clean all the time? Because it sets a certain mood and a certain feeling, a certain ambiance to the whole song that's softer. It's kind of like watching a 70s film where it's all kind of hazy and romantic, right? And that's what's going on here. She's doing that and coloring those colors with her voice. Really cool.
How it only blocks the sun.
So does she. Cool.
Rains and smells on everyone. So many things I should have done, but clouds got in my way.
Okay, Are these happy words? No, they're kind of melancholy, a little sad. So why is she smiling with her mouth? Well, because it's a technique thing and because it actually makes us feel more empathetic. We've already talked about that a little bit. So does this read as false? No, because where do we see that sadness, that kind of melancholy regret in her eyes a little bit? I just gave it away, in her eyes. So if you look at her eyes, you'll notice that's really where we show the true emotion. So whether the song is sad, happy, angry, melancholy, regretful, we want to keep that kind of lifted feeling in there, especially for this kind of style and this sound, where we're going to show the true emotion is in her eyes. And they're doing an awesome job.
I will take clouds from both sides now, from up and down, still somehow it's clouds and illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds.
Okay, the other thing that I love about what I'm seeing, even though they're in totally different places, and I'm sure they're not recording this simultaneously, or if they are, still that's even doubly tricky because there's usually some lag, is that they're tapping into the same kind of communication. They're still tapping into the same vibe, right? We see that in their body language and their gestures. Even some of the gestures are mirroring each other. Maybe that's because they've watched each other and they're doing that. But that shows that they're really listening, not just with their ears, but with their eyes, their whole body, and trying to connect with the people they're singing with. You'll notice that their voices aren't perfectly lining up in places that we would expect it to line up if they were in person. And I have every reason to believe that if they were in person, they'd line up really well. If you think that's a criticism, I don't intend it as a criticism. What I intend it to be is to point out that they are not letting the complications and the challenges that go with trying to record in totally separate places over video, and probably was a really fast production process, to keep them from doing it. They're finding ways, they're being innovative and finding ways to put themselves out there and share this music. And I'm listening to it and thinking, wow, what lovely performers. So easy to watch and so genuine and communicative, but also what a lovely sound. They sound great together. Love it.
And here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Okay, watch for it. You'll see one of them has their teeth out, other one not so much. The corners of one of their mouth are down, the other one up. You're gonna notice that the sounds are different. We can't really tell here because they're singing at the same time. Hopefully we get to see them separately later on, but you realize they both kind of have this positive vibe about them, right? How do you react to them? Is one more positive than the other? Do you find yourself watching one more than the other? If so, what is it that's drawing your attention?
Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Okay, so I want to talk quickly about the visual things that we're seeing here. Number one is whoever put this video together and edited it, love how innovative they were in drawing our attention, right? They split it into one, transition it into two, and they're together, and they keep our focus right where it needs to be. Also love with what they did, it's they're putting this little 70s filter over the top. I talked about kind of that haze and that kind of glow, with the light hitting the camera type of thing. They're putting that, overlaying that over the top, so it kind of feels like it's purposely all one video, not split into these different videos with them separated in different places. So that becomes kind of this cohesive element that ties it all together. The other thing that ties it together is visually you're watching the colors. They kind of live in a similar color world in terms of reds, grays, and beiges. Different versions of that. A little bit of black, right? And that's about it. So even though they're in totally different places, those little elements then wrap it up into a visual world that makes it feel like it all belongs together. Those little details, planning those out, are actually really important. A lot of people try to neglect them or push them away. They're actually really crucial for the audience to be able to engage and believe that these all work together. It's aesthetically much more pleasing, which lets us engage with it much more completely.
Sun, sun, here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
Super cool. Totally enjoyed it. Love those singers. Love how they're different and how they work so well together. Absolutely gorgeous. What I would love to hear is comment down below with which singer you gravitated to most by watching and what you think it was about their performance that made you gravitate towards them. Then do the same thing with what you're hearing and which voice you gravitated to the most and why. What I'm not asking here is which singer you think is better or which performer you think is better. It's not a competition of who's better or worse. What it is for you to start identifying what is it that you relate to. What do you connect with? Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Comment down below with other things you think I should be reacting to. Love to hear what you have to say. You can check me out at foundyourvoice.com, where you can book a lesson or a session so that we can work together and help you sing easier or even just speak easier if that's your job. And I can also help you perform more consistently, perform in a way that is more genuine to who you are, and discover ways to engage your audience so that they are changed and become better people and are moved by your performances. You can also check me out on Wizio.com if you want to send me a short video and get my reaction and feedback. Either way, I hope I get to work with you in the future. See you next time.